She never once missed a game.
After being married to Karen for 33 years, almost 34, on October 15th, have a lot of favorite memories.
When she asked me to help her get a chaise lounge,
But I got chewed out big time. The entire way to the game.
Karen's math skills aren't the best.
She couldn't believe it, so she said, "We're going."
It's very weird saying Karen because she's always been my second mom.
Her and I share a love for breakfast food.
She had an operation done, and there were some complications that she had to stay in the car, didn't go to work for a while.
I knew it wasn't going to fit in the car, but she was adamant. She needed to get it home.
I do remember meeting Karen at Kitty College at First Church of the Nazarene.
She needed a good grade in an algebra class.
I'm at the game, and all I could think was how mad I am. That I got in trouble and Landon didn't.
I had no idea why she asked me, because both of their cars were bigger than my car at the time.
She parked her car just outside the fence in the grass in the outfield.
I sat in her seat.
And I said, "Oh, I don't drive in Indianapolis. I'm not comfortable with that." And she said, "Oh, I'll drive. No problem."
So on Saturday mornings, me and her and Addison would all meet and go to IHOP.
We were kind of set up by my mom.
And I actually had probably the best game of my entire baseball career.
I used about a 50-foot extension cord and tied it to the roof of my car.
I took the test for her.
She parked out there so she could watch me the whole game.
She was hoping and praying the entire time that nobody she knew would ever see her doing something that silly.
My mom was waiting right next to the gate by the dugout. The big smile, give me a great big hug, congratulating me, saying, "You did a great job, you did a great job."
We get off of I-65, and neither of us know how to get to the Cheesecake Factory.
And she turns and she looks at me and she goes, "Maybe I should yell at you before every single game and maybe you'll play better."
She was complaining to me, "I cannot believe you only got me a B."
She was cracking up the entire way. She kept referring to us as the Beverly Hillbillies.
And we laughed the entire trip.
Her laugh is incredibly infectious.
That's where the memories all began.
I'll never forget that.
She was working for Unity.
It was more subtle.
She had run her car into a curb on the corner of 52 and 38. Great intersection for that to happen.
Going to be going to Fred and Carolyn's. And that was going to be the following day.
My mom, growing up, was always the detailed person, was always the scheduler. She was always the one who made sure that our family was where we needed to be when we needed to be there.
I personally could kind of tell some things were off just from me running up and screaming, "Hi, Mom," and giving her a big hug and her pausing a little bit.
She'd always done a really good job, and she was struggling a lot.
And I would go to visit her.
Talking with her, I said, "Hey, we'd love to have you guys over for a family dinner and games and whatnot." And she goes, "Yeah, absolutely, that'd be fun."
Karen got startled and said, "Oh my goodness, we've got to go, guys. We're going to be late. We have to go see Dad and Carolyn."
I thought maybe it was just time for a change.
And I was noticing more and more that she was getting a little confused.
Popped her tire.
And then 6 o'clock comes and they're not there.
She went to work for Sue and Jennifer at Rossville Family Dentistry, and
She would get confused with what was happening Saturday and what we were doing on Sunday.
And we said, no, that's tomorrow. And she's like, "Oh, that's right."
She could not figure out where the spare tire was.
6:30, still not there.
and then it became really obvious she couldn't pick up new things the way she used to be able to.
She would tell me a story, and later that day, somebody else would tell me the same story, and she was like, "Seriously?"
Now, this is a woman that was on top of everything.
I call and she doesn't answer her phone.
Acting like she had just heard it for the first time.
Call my dad and try to figure out, what's going on, and he had no idea. And my mom just went to bed early that night.
Not being uninviting, but it wasn't the same.
And that happened 3 or 4 times before we actually left the store.
Well, now looking back on that, I realized that she wasn't acting. It was really true. She was, in her mind, hearing it for the first time.
And I remember thinking how odd that was, because that was so unlike her to just blow something off like that.
For her to not be able to find a spare tire that is in the same place that it is on every other car was a little shocking to me.
That's when it really started to sink in that maybe this is something bigger than just forgetting things here and there.
That's when we started getting all the testing done.
Then my dad says, we met with the doctor today.
Dad had told us that after some testing, Mom had been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. Remember putting my head down immediately to hide the tears.
And unfortunately, it's Alzheimer's. And after that, he kept talking. I have no idea what he said. It was kind of one of those surreal moments because you're sitting here and in your mind, when you think of somebody who has Alzheimer's, you think of somebody in their 80s, 90s, very, very late in life.
But then to actually hear the words early onset Alzheimer's, I don't think any of us were prepared for that.
I didn't believe it.
I can remember not even thinking that it could possibly be Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is an old person's disease. I've never heard of anybody her age, or even close to her age, being diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I had never heard of early onset Alzheimer's.
One of those times where everything just seemed completely and utterly unfair.
After a minute or two, I looked up and everybody was doing the exact same thing. Everybody's heads were just down, trying to hide all the emotion.
She was always so healthy, so fit and beautiful. I just knew that this couldn't possibly be what's going to be the ultimate diagnosis.
I just remember all of us got up and, Mom gave us all a hug, told us all it'd be okay.
I figured somebody at the lab had to have made a mistake or something.
I remember walking out there and not crying. Mainly because it felt very, very surreal. Almost like, well, that's what they're saying, but we're going to get the real answer here shortly. There must have been a mistake. There's no way that this could have happened.
I had a grieving mourning for the mother-in-law that I thought I was going to have, and for the grandmother that I thought Addison was going to have. And my heart broke for Tyler, because I can't imagine what it's like to have your mom go through something and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's been about 6 years ago. We're still waiting for a different diagnosis.
My whole life, she was the caregiver, whereas now it's more me taking care of her when I'm with her.
The biggest change has obviously been with them moving.
It's changed my relationship with my brothers, because while she's not my blood mother, that is theirs.
I think in all of this, the person that it's the most difficult on is my dad.
She's limited in a lot of things that she's able to do for herself now that, just never thought about losing some of the abilities. Obviously, it's not just the memories that are going away, but the ability to do things for herself.
It just brings back a lot of memories to when my children were infants, if you will, where they relied on me or their mother or a caregiver for just about everything.
And so instead of having that deep, fun friendship, it feels more like I'm a mother figure when she used to be the mother figure to me.
My dad left everything. He left his family. He left his friends. He left his great job. He left everything that would typically hold you back. Every excuse possible, he cut all of them, just to maybe be able to have a few more good years with my mom.
And to know what they're going through, to know what my dad, Lance, is going through, it breaks my heart.
She has always been the one that has supported me, lifted me up, and been there for me in my difficult times.
I think it's made our whole family closer.
It's very hard to have a conversation with her.
The primary difference being, though, that when our children were young, we looked at their future. We looked at what they could be: a doctor, a lawyer, a mom, a dad.
Karen's a lot funnier now. I don't know why, but she's a lot softer.
I'm asking the question and I'm answering it for her, and that's really tough to witness your mom just lose it, just lose the ability to answer a simple question of how was your day.
Folks with Alzheimer's don't have that future. We don't have something to look forward to. And that is the extremely heartbreaking part of all of this, is they are back, in many cases, back to an infant state of needing total care. And they're not going to get better.
Karen is just a really caring person, and that's really come through. So we're really seeing Karen unedited, I guess, is what I could best say.
I am here to give her support.
Our family has a circle the wagons type of a mentality.
So I feel like our roles have now been reversed, and I'm here to take care of her or help take care of her.
I know that time is precious, and I want to spend every available opportunity with her.
Every day she laughs and she smiles and she is so happy.
It's tough because she doesn't really understand the happiness that I'm feeling in seeing her.
Sometimes she looks a little lost and looks off to the side.
Every once in a while, there are those glimmers, and it seems like more so lately when I have been seeing her, there are those pieces, those fragments of those great times at home, the doobie home, where she remembers who I am.
I know deep down she's in there. I see it quite often.
The first thing that popped in my head wasn't about me. It was about Addison.
I think that we treasure every single moment that we have with her.
That's kind of what we're doing with this KLD Foundation, is trying to help with Karen and everybody else.
It's sad that you have to have conversations with a 7-year-old about, why grandma may not be able to remember you. It's difficult to explain that. Even though she doesn't know who you are or what your name is right now, but she still loves you.
And it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard
finding a cure is the most important thing in my life.
Funding Alzheimer's research and care is one of the most important things that we can do.
But I really didn't know that much about this disease other than the name itself, and that you lost your memories. I don't really truly understand what it does to the person who is suffering from it.
I didn't know a whole lot about Alzheimer's, but I did know that there wasn't a cure.
I'd never heard of early onset Alzheimer's.
I do know that there's a lot of research being done, and
These scientists, they dedicate their lives to doing this. The least we can do is to help give them the resources that they need to actually find the cure, the prevention, the treatment.
I truly believe that the cure for Alzheimer's is right around the corner.
The whole reason for this foundation is not just for Karen, it's for everyone that's suffering with Alzheimer's.
We need to find a cure for this disease. This is not the way that anybody's life should end.
We need to raise money. We need to end this.
We need a cure. We need prevention so that no individual, no family member, no loved one ever has to go through this again.
Not just for my sister, but for everybody that's dealing with this horrible disease.
We need to do all we can to raise as much as we can, as quick as we can, so we can fix this as fast as we can.
I know that you can do it. I know that we can do it.
There's no reason why more people should have to deal with this.
Yeah, we need everybody's help.
Every dollar counts.
But we need your help.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you for helping us make Alzheimer's a memory.
Thank you.
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 Thank you.